Hi Eve, Madonna and Sinoux here for you. So we've just been reading through and discussing the best way to get going. We go to muscle test, of course, the priorities as we go, and Sinoux was muscle testing up a really good affirmation goal, for the session. So let's see how we go and clear some of this energy for you. Okay. I am now 100% Eve. Would you like to do your...
This balance today goes to all levels and dimensions of E through all timelines, and that anything that's here for Sinoux is gratefully appreciated and received, and that all integration takes place with ease and grace and without further imbalance.
So yeah, the physical depletion from reading sessions with clients is showing up as the biggest priority. So what we'll do to kickstart is just check your adrenals, your survival patterns, see where all these are sitting. No, they're all doing well. Let's check your celestial circuit. Beautiful. Is there anything we need to balance before we kick into an affirmation? There is something. Okay. Something electrical. Oscillations and lazy eights. So firstly the oscillations. I think that's probably just... It's when the cells are vibrating at the wrong rate, which can exhaust them faster, and anxiety and stress and exhaustion can be because they are oscillating like crazy little grasshoppers sort of thing. Can you feel the energy in underneath those?
Yeah.
It's really adrenalinized. There's heaps of, there's something going on in there. Any idea?
I think the oscillation's spot on, and the cells are like just buzzing, ready to...
Okay. And maybe it's that whole coming out of a session, like a few days later when your energy starts to, get energized again. Maybe this feels good to your body when it's going for it, but it can be exhausting long term. But we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, right. And we just need to do some lazy eights on the front of the body, particularly the torso. So that'll be about moving forward. Because when you've had this sort of exhaustion from doing mediumship and spirituality, I'm sure part of your body's energy is saying, what the heck are you doing? So then it might even create a little fear pattern. Maybe it's fear in the oscillations. Perhaps.
And past like persecution again of, we're doing all this in this lifetime, we're safe to do it this lifetime, so it's being
It is safe,
yeah,
okay. Right.
Still ourselves. Yeah.
From any and all DNA pathways as well as past lives. Okay. Okay, anything else we need to do before we kick in? Okay, good. Yep, that affirmation's looking good. So, muscle testing up. Yes, please. I only use universal energy when using my psychic gifts. Does it feel different when you use universal energy to your own energy?
It does, because you're not depleting your own energy. We're using our gifts, but not using our personal life force energy actually the universe is supporting us with universal energy.
So is there a way that you can target the universal energy?
You have to give the intent and be aware that, and just give the intent that you're not using your own life force energy. You're using your gifts without depleting your own energy, and drawing on the abundance of universal energy
Right.
to support those gifts and the use of.
So the fact that it all unlocks, so even if that's been your intention to do that, Eve, it's not happening in actuality. So there's a misconnect there somewhere, because this has just blown your adrenals, your survival switching, your deep survival, your hidden deep survival. And hold.
Can I just say, Eve, that when I looked at yours, if you read my file, it's like a duplicate.
It is.
I so get everything that you said.
Yeah. Sinou's an empath as well, and yes. Yeah. She read through it and she went tick, tick, tick.
I had to look and see whose name was on the top.
So there, once again, there's a pain and punishment circuit in relation to simply, oh, okay. Is there any way that using universal energy can be bad for you?
Can't be bad for them, because universal energy is true love energy.
Okay.
It can
cool.
create a fear, though, bring up any doubts of yourself, lack of that love and trust. And giving it any fear, saying, but I'm not using my own gifts, it's like saying that you're not good enough, but it's not true. It's the universal energy is here to support your gifts without draining your energy, our energy. And the mind goes, no, this is my gift. So,
No, I totally get that.
yeah.
So yeah, it's linking. It's an old pattern, you know. So funnily enough, I imagine you've been an empath from when you were itsy bitsy teeny weeny, because it's linking in with this, messing with your self-control, self-confidence, your ability to say no, your risk-taking, your satisfaction in what you do. So all of that between 9 months and 3 years. So this is an old little pattern that your poor little body's been getting.
My sense was then that others were using her energy as a child. They were
Okay.
draining her energy then
Yeah.
for themselves, which sort of creates a pattern of association.
And people are generally not conscious they're
No,
draining
they
their
don't
energy
realise, they
out.
just, yeah. There's some that do it on purpose, but most people.
And so the orbitofrontal cortex is really exhausted. It's the part of the brain that is firing and working, you know, especially when you're getting, like you said, you're using your imagination, you're using your gifts, the information's coming through. So part of you is going to have to discern how much information to pass through. So it's all there. What do I do? You know, there's that real conflict of, do I pass on all of this energy, or do I, because I imagine you must have the same sort of thing. So that's that part of the brain takes up a lot of energy to keep it up and running. And it was interesting you mentioned magnesium, but we'll check that out supplement wise towards the end. But I'm glad the mushroom complex has been working well for you. Sympathetic nervous system. So it's like, because you're using your own energy rather than universal energy throughout the balance, it's then exhausting your sympathetic nervous system, which is your rest and digest. You know, it sort of balances out your rest and digest systems as well. So we'll see which organs are being affected from a purely organ perspective. Okay, so heart's first up. Hold down for me. Which makes me wonder if maybe Oh, yeah, okay. I'm wondering about the whole histamine thing as well. Because, you know, when we're using our brain a lot, maybe histamine's one of the things that helps it to heal after we've exhausted it by working it hard.
Yeah, so we're so drained that the body's trying everything to try to replenish.
Yeah.
It's like it's dumping everything all at the same time.
So there's fear, threat, danger that it's affecting the heart energy. And maybe that's because you've felt so many side effects of working with people over the years. That part of the heart that is brain tissue might be, you know, getting anxious, anxiety, stressed at the thought of how you're going to feel after a balance, after a healing. Hold, beautiful, hold.
So when you think about it as a very young child, if that's, you're being drained, that becomes the program that doing this work is draining.
Yes.
That they go hand in hand when they don't.
And I know I don't do that sort of work, but people have been saying to me for years, you know, oh, you must get drained at the end of the day. And, you know, I reckon I must have had 1,000 people say that to me in 20 years. And I never feel drained. My feet might be sore, you know, but that's a whole different kettle of fish. But I do take a lot of supplements. Oh, which one was that I just did? Heart. Fear, threat, danger again. Could there be subconscious ego stuff going on with wanting to use the own energy rather than universal energy?
When the brain is going, hang on, this is my gift, my talents, not realising it's an innate gift.
Yeah.
Not a human gift, it's an innateness.
Okay. Good. Okay, reticular activating system. Yeah, I think you're right, Sinoux. I think it's like a pattern your body has started to do, where it goes, okay, I've done a healing, now I've got to replenish. It's because this is showing me that sort of during the balance, the serotonin starts going down and noradrenaline starts going up, and that creates a vigilance in the nervous system, which of course just can't sustain itself because it's just too exhausting. That vigilance, because it's almost like the brain knows that it's going to get exhausted, and with all those physical side effects as well. Okay, so within this circuit about allowing universal energy, the 3 chakras that are showing up are heart chakra, base chakra, and 8th chakra. 8th is showing up as being the bully. So the process must be ungrounding you. So the 8th chakra works in with the adrenal glands. Yeah, right, so the adrenals are go, 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 to keep you engaged and, you know, within that that frame you need to be when you're with a client. And the sphenoid bone, and hold. Hold, okay. Yeah, so chronic fatigue of the 8th chakra. Are you doing plenty of nature stuff? Is the question that's coming to mind, Eve. Are you getting outside, forests or trees or barefoot?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, barefoot, grass, sunshine, sand. Yeah. Mm. Oh, that's a nice release. Oh, okay, so that's gone from third stage stress to first stage stress. Tuning fork combo. Right lung. Right lung, thyroid. Yeah, right. Oh, okay. So it's about feeling trapped and claustrophobic within that energy. Maybe because the universal energy. Is there a disconnect to the universal energy?
Well, technically there's not. In our mind there can be. We can never be disconnected from it, but it's the mind knowing that it's there for you to use. It's who we are.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Now, this has been an old pattern. It's slender rice flowers, a flower essence showing up. And probably because you've done so much work on this over the years, it's like your brain's ready to get over. But we were mentioning the ego before. It's showing up about comparing yourself to others, so you probably know other mediums who don't have these side effects. So you're going, well, what am I doing wrong? I'm doing all this stuff. It's, any healer is going to accidentally, subconsciously compare and think, well, what am I doing wrong? When we're having side effects or ill effects from things. So it's about comparing yourself to others and the pride, that's being challenged because of stuff. So, yeah, right. So the flower essences, the tuning forks. Okay, so we do them on the 8th chakra again, and I'll just read out the affirmations as we're going. I take responsibility for my attitudes and now choose to kindly, gently, lovingly and supportively transcend my pride and my comparing myself to others into all-encompassing love. I make the commitment to kindly, gently, lovingly and supportively cooperate with others and acknowledge true humility as the willingness to see only the highest and best in others and myself. I take responsibility for my attitudes and now choose to kindly, gently, lovingly and supportively dissolve my pride and comparing myself to others into all-encompassing love. I make the commitment to kindly, gently, lovingly and supportively cooperate with others and acknowledge true humility as the willingness to see only the highest and best in others and myself. And hold. Hold, beautiful. Hold. Okay, so heart chakra is now cleared. The only other one showing up needing anything is the base chakra. which is, so it's about feeling safe, secure, grounded.
And that'll tie into the lower back pain stuff and sleeping stuff.
Okay, so tie into the lower back pain stuff as well. Actually, what I will do, I'll just check the major muscles associated with the lower back at this stage so we can be doing them simultaneously. Let's have a look. Large intestine energy, which of course is about grief, guilt, regret. So I can imagine your brain must get to that spot doing balances or healings where you go, what am I doing? You know, should I be doing this? It's hard work when you're going through what you're going through. So fascia lata and quadratus lumborum. Hold up for me. And hold up. Holding on to the edges. Hold out. And hold out. Okay.
I actually felt tears welling up just before you said that.
Yeah,
What
right.
that was.
Okay. Latissimus dorsi's showing up. Hold in. Hold in. About the grief, guilt, regret.
Yeah, just before when you started reading what that
Yeah,
was, I was
right.
like, I just felt all teary.
Okay. And hold, hold, hold. Yeah, no. Hold, hold. Right. So now we'll do the base chakra and then we'll check those muscles again. No, just happy with the okay, we need a flower essence. Fringed violet. So fringed violet is for trauma damage. The positives are things like the psychic protection, but if you did have people draining your energy from when you were only 9 months old, that's a long history to believe that this was your path in life. This was
And that's how it works, yeah.
That's how it works. People take my energy.
I don't know.
Oh, sorry. Yummy afternoon brandy. Okay, let's recheck. Hold up for me. Okay. Touch it like, oops, sorry. Hold, beautiful. Hold on to the edges of the table. Hold out. Hold out. Lovely. And psoas. Pectineus, hold. Psoas, iliacus. Pectineus, psoas, iliacus. Oh, lat dorsi. Hold in for me. Hold in. Lovely. That was all, wasn't it?
Mm.
They're all the ones that
Yeah,
showed
it
up.
made all the difference.
Yeah, so, and interesting from, right, look at this. So from the adrenal perspective, so this has really activated the adrenals, spleen, latissimus dorsi, fascia lata, quadratus lumborum, and pectineus, psoas, and iliacus. So the adrenals are the bully, and they've just totally drained all of those muscles. Try to activate your base and your 8th chakras to keep you nice and grounded, but there's just not enough stability in there to keep it up and running. Okay, so let's recheck that affirmation. We'll see whether there's more to do in there. I only use universal energy when using my psychic gifts. And hold, 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 hold. Oh, beautiful. Okay. So once again, is there anything conscious we need in relation to that? No. Do we need to go into immune inflammation pathways? Oh. Something. The energy mismatch is the big one. Okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So the immune and inflammatory pathways aren't keeping up with whatever that is that you take on during your healing sessions. And energy mismatch indicates that the body just doesn't know what to do with it. Which is fair enough. It's an interesting phenomenon.
Yeah.
You know, like I was talking to someone on, you know how EMFs, they're such tiny particles, but they are, there's research that shows that EMFs build up, EMFs build up in the body. And of course there's phones everywhere, there's Wi-Fi everywhere, so it's not just about our phone, it's about us living on the planet with EMFs everywhere. Yeah.
Spiritual EMFs, all that matter.
That's exactly right.
All that happy stuff out there.
Yeah. So if we're an empath, what else are we taking on? So yeah, so that's what we might do, a balance around releasing spiritual EMFs, for want of a better word.
I can't think of the word, what's called that in I forget the word, but it's encompassing that anyway. Magnoplasm.
Yeah. Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, all the gunky shitty stuff floating around.
Okay. So now in relation to spiritual and energetic EMFs.
I just felt the whole body just
it just collapsed.
Yeah.
Okay, so we might even go back to the adrenals and survival stuff now.
I felt the whole body just go limp.
It just went numb. Yeah. How do I release this stuff?
And then not attract it.
I know. A gentle little rumble in the background.
I never told me how to use the toilet at Coles.
Oh, did you? Oh, yes. Right, so the spiritual EMFs have blown everything. Okay, so all your senses plus your sixth sense. Let's go clear the survival stuff first. So once again, that same area that's shown up before, the orbitofrontal cortex is showing up. So that's the one to do with conflict. It's about thinking, it's about processing, it's about working out what's right, what's wrong, what I say, what I don't say. Like I know for Gabby, who used to work with us, she used to get a big tick when it was like a psychic tick when she'd be on the right track with something. She'd go, yep, that's it, okay, moving on. Nice. These are little survival patterns. They're only tiny little things and only a couple of nuclei in the brain, so it's not like the brain's a real mess or anything, which is good. Yeah, but this one again, so the psychic EMFs are creating vigilance in the nervous system and inhibiting the release of serotonin.